Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with an inspired video. I watched this tutorial over on Cajcrafts, that's Carol Ann over there, beautiful woman from Scotland, and she is doing a 2023 Tag Tuesday series. So she's going to do 52 weeks of tags. So every Tuesday there'll be a new tag idea. So I have grabbed a couple of her ideas and I'm going to try them for myself. So this is the one I am doing. Now this does not look exactly like hers. I was playing around with my dimensions. Hers, I'll share her true dimensions, and I'll be creating this one online with you per her specific dimensions and directions. Okay, I just played around with this one, so I put it on a bigger tag base, which that's not a problem at all. You could totally do that, but I like a bigger tag. So you can put a hole over here, with your eyelet and some seam binding or something. But basically she called it a waterfall tag. So it is glued down only by this band that is around the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that band in there, but we will go through that together. And so then I have this pole, which didn't really work out very well for me, so we'll be talking about that when we do the video. But you just pull this and you've got these beautiful images that pop up. And so I will talk with you a little bit about the papers that I chose and the weight of paper. So I think she just did hers looked like her mechanism, which is this pink part. Hers looked like it was maybe like 20-pound paper. I am using I believe this is 32-pound paper to do this project because I felt like it was a little bit more stable, but it was not so thick that it encumbered the design or the mechanism. So like so. Isn't that beautiful? Not very functional in terms of like, what do you do with it? I mean, I suppose you could write on the back of those. You could totally write on them. This one you can't, but the top of the other ones you can. So that's what we're going to be making today. So what I did, and if you guys want to grab a picture, I just got some supplies here. My eyelet setter, my bone folder. We'll be doing some scoring, a couple of eyelets. I wanted to be completely prepared. But if you want to take a picture of this, you sure can. Again, this is inspired by Carol Ann. And so if you want to take a snapshot of this, it is the direction step by step per the way that she taught it. So I had to write it down because I had to do it a couple times to really do it right. And so I thought maybe some written instructions will help. But please, please, please do go over and visit her at Cajcrafts on YouTube and check her out because she is busting it out of the park, knocking it out of the park right now. She's on fire. She's putting out amazing content, and I want to send as many people her way as I possibly can. I don't want to take credit for something that I did not create, I did not think up, but I'm going to take this and just expand the community with this beautiful project. So go ahead and take a picture since my hands were all in the way, and then we will move on. Okay, so that is that. I'm just going to move that over there. So I have already pre-cut some of my items because I just like to save time. So basically what you're going to need, well, let me pull this back over and go through this with you. So her tag size was 3 inches by 6 inches. You need 5 images that measure 2 by 2. You need a long strip of paper that is 2.5 inches wide. The length is not as important because you're going to cut a lot of it off. Just make sure you leave enough that it's going to wrap around a 3-inch wide tag. So we will go through that though. And then the rest of it I'm going to talk to you as we go through, but I wanted to talk about the pieces first. So that's what I have here. I am working with the Fairy Magic kit from My Porch Prints. I am so stoked to work with this kit. I am so stoked. I'm going to be incorporating a lot of mixed media. I believe it's going to be a big journal because there's 2 kits. I can't remember the name of the second one. The first one is Fairy Magic. The other one goes right alongside of it. It's a birthday one. Fairy birthday. Like, how much better does it get than that? So it's probably going to be a 5 signature journal. It's going to be a monster, and I'm so excited. It's going to take me a while to get it done. I've never done anything more than three signatures. So without further ado, let's get going. So these are images from the kit, and I struggled to find pieces in the kit that I could actually cut to be 2 inches by 2 inches. Whoops, I'm stuck here. So that's what we've got there. So again, just as I always say, perfection is not at play in the studio. So please don't be too hard on yourself if things don't measure out exactly. I know that this where I was laying one on top, cutting around it, so it could be irregular. That's just my way. We will be inking along the way. I have a circle which I will fold in half that will take the place of this mechanism, this pole that I put on. This was way too big and not really that easy to get a hold of, so I will be doing that differently, and it's also hanging up on the lip of this, so we'll be doing that a little bit different. So I've got my 3" by 6" tag, and this is also from the kit. I have you're going to need a strip that is a 1/2 inch wide. Oh, sorry. So this is not the piece that wraps around. My apologies. This is your mechanism strip. So this is the piece that measures 2.5 inches wide. This is a 8.5 by 11 paper. So right now it's 11 inches high, 2.5 inches wide, and this will make more sense as we keep going here. So sorry. This is the other strip that I was talking about. This is the band that's going to go around the base of your mechanism. So let's say we didn't put this on yet. This is this strip right here. So this is that strip, and you're going to wrap it around, and it's only going to be glued on the top. It's only glued here. It's not glued on the back. It's glued to the back of the tag. It's glued to the tag, but that is all open in there. But again, that will make more sense as we go along. I did pull, this is a page from the kit. I thought I might want to put an extra backing around this because, I like a bigger tag. I just wanted to have a piece of paper there in case I decided to do that. So I'm just going to set that over there as well. So I'm going to start by doing some inking, and then we're going to pull the scoreboard over and start doing our scoring. So give me just a quick moment to ink these bits up. I just re-inked my ink pad, so it is super juicy and super dark, which I love, but it's kind of shocking. So we're just about done with the inking here, and then we'll move along to the next step. I'll bring my scoreboard over. Oh, we want to do the back too, because in case we want to write on the back, we can. So let me do that really quick. The only one you won't be able to, as I showed you in the prototype, is you won't be able to go flip the bottom one up to write on because it's kind of more stationary than the other pieces. And again, this kit is from my Porch Prints. They do amazing work, you guys. If you haven't checked them out, they're absolutely phenomenal. I just finished a strawberry journal using their strawberry kit, and it was so beautiful. So very professional, and the fussy cuts, all the pieces are easy to cut out. That's my number one thing that I love about my Porch Prints. So we're going to go ahead and set these little bits over here, and try not to touch my mouse because I did not move it. I'm going to set all that over there. I'm going to bring the scoreboard over, and I'm going to cap my ink so it doesn't get dry. And so what you want to do is, I'm going to try to bring this in for you a little bit. Let's see if we can. So I'm going to start over here on this edge, and you're going to, the first score mark is going to be at 2.5 inches per the instructions. So I'm just butting this up to that very corner, and I'm going to score at 2.5. It feels like 2.5 is not. I guess it is though, because you can obviously also alter this. So let's say you made your little squares 3 by 3, then you would go up to, instead of 2.5 inches, you'd go up another inch to 3.5 and have your score line be, your first score line be farther. So I hope that makes sense. But again, we're going to follow the directions completely the way she did it. So I don't want to use this. This is not working well. My scoring is not even. So I got one of these little pointy things, so we're going to use that and hope it works better. It did off camera, So it's always kind of a crapshoot, right? On camera. So you're going to score it at 2.5, 2 3/4, 3, 3 1/4, and 3 1/2. Okay. So what you should have is, you should have 5 spaces. I hope you guys can see that. I'm not going to ink this up, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's not enough. What did I miss? There's one more. Okay, so maybe I did 2 1/2, 2 1/4. Oh, I missed 2 1/2, 2 3/4, 3, 3 1/4, 3 1/2, 3 1/2. That was 3 1/2. What? I must have missed something in her instructions, you guys. We need one more line, so we're going to go another 1/2 inch. I probably just wrote that down wrong. So I will, what I'll do is I'll maybe share the photo too, so that you guys can see that paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you need 5 1 1/4 inch spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 score lines. So, and I did write this down as she did it, so I don't know if I missed it or she missed it, but it does not matter. In fact, let's go ahead and just add that on here for you guys, just with my little purple pin. So you need it, so 2 1/2, 2 3/4, 3, 3 1/4, 3 1/2, and 3, it must be 3 3/4 then. Which makes sense. I probably missed it, you guys. So if you want to take another shot of this, you can totally do that. I'll just leave it right there and move the camera back up so you guys can see it. Take another screenshot or a picture. There we go. All right, sorry about that. So I'm going to get rid of that scoreboard. So then you're going to obviously fold all of your score lines, and I just kind of watched to see that it's lining up on side to side. When I was using the 20-pound paper, it was way too thin. It was not working well at all. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fold all these in, and I'm just using my fingernails because I've got them. You could totally use a bone folder or the side of your scissors or whatever you have readily available. Our other ones. So Cara-Renee, she actually inked these edges. I don't want them inked. You could totally do that if it made it easier for you. I am working on a printed paper here, and I was not before, so we'll see how this goes. I don't want those lines to show in the final product, so that's why. So there we go. So we'll look at the back so you can see they are all burnished. So then you're going to turn it so that this is your 2 1/2 inch mark. So this is face down like that. And then you know what? We're going to have to ink these because I can't even see those lines. I can't even see them. Yeah, let's go ahead and ink them, you guys. Sorry for the change in plans, but it's going to be really dark, but that's okay. It is okay. It's not ugly or anything. I thought I could get away with not doing that. I was working on a non-pattern paper though in my prototype, so there we go. And I will link the papers that I used on the other one. Look at these. These are from Calico Collage. Look at these images. Look at them. They're just absolutely gorgeous. So I will try to link her that kit. So there we go. I don't like the light. So let me grab a piece of parchment here. It helps. Okay, actually I'm going to make it big because I'll just knock that right out of the way. There we go. So Now I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to go ahead again and open this up. And what you should have here is your 2.5 inch section, because your little squares are 2 inches. So it's going to leave you a little bit of a border. So you want to make sure that you decide which one you want to be your top one. I want this to be my top one, so I'm going to set it over here. And I'm going to straighten my camera out here. There we go. And then I'm just going to kind of put them in order as I want them to go. So we're going to do that, and then that, and then this, and then this, and then the last one. So I'm going to turn those over. So now what you're going to do is take your glue. I used art glitter glue. It worked fine. I didn't find that I had to really struggle with readjusting. So I'm going to turn this just for my own ability to see what I'm doing. Make sure that your image is up the right way, and then you're going to put a bead of glue along the top, just a small bead like so. I hope you guys can see that okay. And then you're going to take that and you're going to line it up to that first score line, and you're going to be paying attention to the space on either side of your image, just to try to get it centered as best you can. So that looks to be pretty good. Happy with that. So then every subsequent one you're going to line up in the same way. You're going to have it be lined up. Now hopefully our images are straight, are the same. This one's a little bit off. Let me take a look at this here. I was taking the shortcut way. I'm going to go ahead and trim this just a smidge, just a hair off, and I'm going to ink that again. I should have checked that, you guys, my apologies. So now that looks to be more, yeah. So then again, we're going to do the same process, making sure that our top is up. And again, we're going to line it up to the second score line. So again, if you want to make this a different size, you just have to fiddle and play around with your measurements. So there we go. Looks pretty darn good so far. I have to turn my things sideways. It helps me get them straight because I'm only focusing on one edge, and that looks okay. It's not perfect, but I'm going to be okay with that. And again, all of this is printed on 32-pound paper. I like the stability of 32-pound paper. Do we want this one on the top or this one? I think I'm going to do this one because my eyelets are purple, so I think that will look better. There we go. So we're going to go up, make sure it's straight up. There we go. Like so. Though I cut pretty good for not taking the time to measure. There we go. And then our last one. So you're going to notice that we have an extra score line there, and there's a reason for that, which we'll talk about here in a second. This is the first waterfall mechanism project I've done, so I so appreciate Cara-Renee for stepping out there and doing that on her channel, because I have never done it before. I've done a waterfall journal, but I've never done this mechanism, and it is really, really cool. So this is our mechanism. So the reason why that is there too is we want that at the top, like that. Okay, so you can probably see what I mean. I really didn't want those lines to show. So in the future, I would plan differently, figure out, like maybe come in, and only make the marks, in this center section that's going to be covered over. But it's okay. So now as long as you're straight here and you've got this burnished at the right and folded at the right level, you can now go ahead and cut this off and even it up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to hold this really firm so that we get a straight cut with my shaky hands. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and ink this little edge here because that will show. Okay, so there's our little mechanism. It's very small. It feels much smaller than the other one, but that's okay. So now we're going to go ahead and take our piece of paper that is the band, And we're going to go ahead and just set this on here. I almost feel like it's too thick. You know what I mean? I feel like it's too fat. But she said 1/2 inch. So I don't know. Because it goes above. I can't remember if hers went above this bottom one. It's probably okay. Let's just go with that. So basically you're going to put this down, hold it in place, and then fold this up and over and just give it a soft press. And I'm going to clip this because I want to be able to fold the other edge over. So let me just clip that. I'm just clipping the tail end off of that. I don't need that whole length. And then I'm going to fix that so that I can get this on here. And then I'm going to fold this one. I'm going to give it a little bit more room just because I want to, well, I guess it doesn't matter because it's not going to slide on and off like a band would, if that makes any sense. So there, we're going to take that. And then we don't want all that extra paper in there. So I'm going to go ahead and try to make a little pencil mark here so that I know where to cut that off. So I'm going to cut it right here. Doesn't need to be straight. I'm going to put this on the back, the fold of this. So what we're going to do is, or do we want to do that? Yeah, so, this is going to get glued here. So let me ink this little bit. Let me just get my ink over here so I'm not crossing over you guys. Goodness. I'm just going to ink those little bits that are going to show those corners. And so I'm going to go ahead and put glue between those. I'm going to actually fold that and ink it so I can see my glue barriers there. I'm going to go ahead with my art glitter glue and put glue all on here. Okay. And then we're going to put that on the front, so only the front is going to get glued. When I fold this around to the back, I'm only going to glue it so that this stays shut. It's not going to glue to the back of this mechanism. And as Carol Ann repeated over and over and over again, if you glue at the back, the mechanism will not work. Okay? So this is going to go, I just about did it wrong too, guys. So, goodness gracious. So it's hard because I have to kind of pull these up too because it's, I feel like it's a little bit too wide. I'm just going to pick that up and see if it's even. Even Steven. Don't get much wiggle room with art glitter glue, as you probably know. I'm going to move that down just a smidge. There we go. Perfect. So that's going to fold around. And then the only glue I'm putting on this is just enough to attach this. In fact, I'm going to slide this under so I don't get any glue on the back. I'm just going to put a little bead of glue right here just to attach that. Hopefully that's not going to cause a problem with the mechanism. I don't think it will. This part was a little bit fuzzy for me in her video. So she had the camera really, really close, which was fine. It was great to see things up close, but I missed some things as well. So there we go. So now if you want to see how the mechanism works, it goes like this. So you pull that back piece and you don't want to mess with this too much while it's still drying, but that's what it looks like. Okay, so I think we're okay to go ahead and pull it out just to add our little circle, if I can get a hold of it. So I'm going to go like that, and then I cut this circle, and it's what's going to be our pull on this. I'm probably going to cut this down a little bit as well, because I don't want it to infringe on that that lip of the mechanism. So, oh, that was not straight. That's okay. That's okay. So we want this to be out, don't we? Or do we want this to be out? See, that's what I struggle with. Yeah, we want this to be out. So actually, this can just be cut in half because we're going to glue half and half, because I don't want this to be too big. So I just cut that in half. That was not really planned. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this little edge and this little edge. And I think, oh, you know what I was going to do? I was going to do an eyelet. Never mind. Yeah, I'm going to do an eyelet. I did the pull on the last one. I don't need to. So let's go ahead and do our eyelet. I remembered because I have 2 purple eyelets here, one for the tag and one for this little mechanism. So I've got this set on my 1/8 inch dealio. So I'm going to just try to center this in the middle of that area. And I'm going to go low down so we don't have any, oh, you know what? How is that going to work? It's going to hang out. No, that's not going to work for me because we don't have any. I would have left more of the back. So we're going to go back to plan Z or X or whatever it was. Because this is less of an impact on the mechanism, in my opinion. I'll have to go back and watch how she actually did that last little step. So we're going to just sort of center this here. And I want most of it to hang outside so that it's not, again, impacting the mechanism at all. No risk of that. And then we're going to put the other half on this side. Okay. I hope this is not too confusing. I feel like I'm a little rambly. Just a little. Okay, and so now we can put glue on the whole back of this one. This is one of my favorite ways to make a pull, but usually it's a whole circle. So I'm just going to set that on there, and I'm going to pick it up and line it up, make sure that it's not overlapping anywhere. And just give that a little bit of a, oh, it's already stuck down on the front. That's okay. It's not perfect, I told you. So there we go. So now, yeah, we still have this inhibiting our dealio here. Oh my goodness, come on. How do we solve that? Let's try that again. So it opens like that. It just catches on that bottom just momentarily. It's not a problem. So that is our little pull. Isn't that so cute? Is that just precious? Look at, I have to hold it by the top. Look at that. So awesome. So awesome. Okay. So, yeah, I got distracted, guys. Sorry. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and do my hole for the top of my tag. And again, I have this set on the smaller eyelet, the 1/8 inch, I believe. I'm going to just make a hole there. I'm going to use a purple because there's a lot of purple in this kit, and lavender and pink. It's just gorgeous. And teal, all my favorite colors. So let's go ahead and set this eyelet. I'll have to go back and watch her video again for the like gazillionth time. Sometimes I'm kind of lame that way. It takes me a long time to figure things out. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on here first. It's just seam binding that I get from my scrap cabin. Really, really great business over there. Very, very fast shipping. Obviously, I'm in the United States and she's in the United States, so that makes a difference. But she's really fast getting it out. So just pull that through if I can. Come on. Come on. There we go. I like to tie mine in a bow at the top, so let's just do that really quick. I don't need all of that, so I always cut way more than I need. Kind of wasteful. And I just like to tie a little bow here. Like so. I'm just going to cut the extra. That's so adorable. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. Adorable! And so, there we go. And so now, oh, but I should have put my other tag. I guess I won't be putting that bigger piece on. That's okay. This actually worked out really, really well. I love the size. So now we're going to glue this on. I want you guys to see this part because typically you'd be gluing this whole thing down, right? But you only want to put glue on this back side of the mechanism. So you can see this is open. Let me just show you with my ruler. This is open. It's open. Okay, that's the mechanism. And as Carol Ann said, you cannot glue this down because then your mechanism will not work. So we're going to just put glue, trying to keep away from the edges so that it doesn't ooze and ruin the mechanism. And then we're just going to find our place to put that on. I'm just looking mostly from side to side again, just that it's even from edge to edge, like so. That looks really beautiful. I love it. Let's wiggle, wiggle a little bit. Come on. There we go. And give it a good press. And that is our little waterfall tag. So I'm going to very gently do this so you can pull. Voila. So beautiful, isn't it? Person could write here if they wanted to. The person could write on the top of these, other than again the bottom one, because it's the first glued and it's kind of stuck at the top, on the top portion. So there is our tag. Thank you guys so much for coming by. Please, 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 I beg of you, I beg, go over and give Carol Ann some love on her channel. She's fantastic. Very original creator. And the other thing I love about her is she's known for her ability to use budget items. She uses what she has, like for instance, her mechanism was just a book page. So she's really great for encouraging people to use what you have, and she does the same. So I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.